Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon or good evening, wherever you're dialing in from, and welcome to this Ideate Software webinar, where today we will be looking at some of the updates that we did to IdeateApps in the last release back in June of this year, particularly around the new Ideate Annotate tool. So joining me today, I have Nick Johns, the territory lead for Ideate Software. Good morning, Nick.
Good morning, Steve, and good morning, or good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Thank you very much indeed for taking time out of your busy day to join us, and I hope you find the next 30 minutes insightful and interesting. I'll also be keeping an eye on any questions, so please feel free, as Steve said, to ask questions, and we'll get to as many of the questions as we possibly can. So thanks, Steve.
Okay, right, so it's 2 minutes past, we'll get started now. So just a quick introduction to those of you who don't know me. My name is Steve Dedman. I'm the Customer Success Manager for Ideate Software for the UK and the EMEA region. I'm based in Guildford in the UK, and then there you can see a little bit about my background, building services, construction, and architecture. Most recently, I was head of BIM at a leading architectural practice based in London in the UK. I've been using Revit for more years than I care to remember, and have been using the Ideate software tools for just as long, really. So as you know or may not know, Ideate Software, we develop a suite of add-in tools for Revit to increase productivity and help you get the best out of the tool. Revit is a great business software, but as we all know, there are gaps in that software, and ourselves, amongst others, produce tools to help you, as I say, become more productive, reduce those data editing tasks, and save time and costs on your Revit data workflows. So today we are going to be looking solely at the IdeateApps suite of tools, and we're going to be looking mainly at the Ideate Annotate tool, which is, as I say, is a new tool that we issued this June just gone past, and we can also be looking at how that links in with Ideate X-Ray, another one of the Ideate app tools. A little minor sort of update to Ideate Quick Select, which I can show you as well, and then just a bit of a refresh of some of the one or two of the updates we did to Ideate Align. I think not this last release, but previously, but you may not be aware of. It's something that I thought would be worth going over again and showing you. So it's all about the Ideate apps. So if you're not aware of this particular suite of tools, so the Ideate apps is a suite of focus-driven tools. Was previously 9, it is now 10 with the addition of Ideate Annotate. So these are very focused, specific tools to deal with specific issues within Revit. So we have a tool to renumber elements within your Revit model. We can have a quick select to help you quickly select and filter elements. The Smart Delete tool is used to analyze which elements are going to be deleted when you click that delete button and review the liability there. The X-ray tool, which we'll look at, is great for finding elements which are hidden within your Revit views. The spell check tool, which is a proper spell check tool, the Revit one isn't so great. Ideate Annotate, which we're going to look at in detail, and then the 4 tools at the end shown in the blue icons are all around managing your sheets and managing your documentation sets, cloning sheets, creating views, and aligning those views on the sheets. So that is the Ideate apps suite of tools. So Ideate Annotate is the newest one to this collection, which we added, say, back in June of this year. If you subscribe to Ideate apps, when you update to the latest version of the Ideate software, you will see the Ideate Annotate tool appear in that toolbar. If you do have apps but you don't see the Annotate tool in your toolbar, you just need to update to the latest version. So you get onto your IT department, get them to install that for you. And Annotate will work with all Revit versions from Revit 2020 to 2023. So this, just as a reminder, all and any updates we do to all our tools are always supported back to the current version of Revit and 3 versions back. So in this case, it's 2020 to 2023. So what's it all about? What is this tool? What's the use for it? Well, we're looking at the legibility of tags and dimensions, so we can review your drawings, your production information, to review whether you have overlapping tags or clashes. Really, it's a kind of clash detection for 2D annotation. So here in this example, you can see I've got a dimension and a piece of text that are overlapping, and that's been picked up by the Annotate tool here. So you can see there that's something that could easily have been missed with a manual check. Running the Ideate Annotate tool can help you identify those issues and quickly resolve them. You can also browse through all of your 2D annotation elements to understand usage. You can swap out types, keep consistency within all your annotation objects within your model and within your views. And then this is an important one for me. It's reducing that what I call red pen time. So when you producing your drawings, they need to be checked and approved by either your architect or engineer, whoever, and they'll sit with either a printed set of A3 drawings or with Bluebeam or another tool, and go around red penning areas where there's issues. So hopefully Ideate Annotate will pick up. It's not going to pick up 100% of these issues, but hopefully it'll pick up the things where you've got, so as I say, text and tags and dimensions overlapping. Those things will hopefully be picked up so that your reviewer is only reviewing the actual drawing content in terms of it from a technical or design point of view, and they're not highlighting and circling, where you've got text overlapping and things like that. So this is another great use of the Ideate Annotate tool. So if we can reduce that red pen stage, then I think that's beneficial to all projects. Right, I'm just going to switch to Revit now to give you a quick demonstration of how this tool works. So on the Ideate Software ribbon, if you have the apps, you can now see right in the middle, we now have the new tool, Ideate Annotate. So I'm just going to start this up. And it's just going to grind through. So you see, I have two tabs here, one for browse and one for review. And if you're an Ideate Software user and you've used Quick Select and Explorer before, then this is going to look fairly familiar. And we've deliberately kept the UI to be similar to our other tools just to maintain that consistency. So if you're using Explorer, you should be able to use the Annotate tool fairly quickly. So we have two tabs here. We have the Browse tab and the Review tab. So first of all, I'm going to look at the Browse tab here. And I can filter by, or display rather, by either the entire project, placed views and sheets, the active view, and the current selection. And what I'm showing here is a list of all annotation elements by category. So it's like the Explorer without any of the model annotation, any of the model elements being shown. So if I just click to the entire project, for example, you'll see a list of every single annotation element that's contained within the project. So that's area tags, detail items, dimensions, furniture tags, all sorts of, and anything as an annotation. So that you say that includes spot elevation, stair paths, text, etc. If you want to filter on this, you can. At the moment, we've just got one filter, that's just specifically for the tags. So if you're only interested in tags, for example, you can just click on that filter and it will show you the tag. Just uncheck that. And then the sort by, so I'm sorting by category here, but I could change this to sort by the view. So here you'll get a list of your views and sheets within the model. And then you could, if you're looking for particular views, for example, let's open up this one. Then this will give you a list of those annotation elements which are being displayed within that particular view. And like the Explorer, if you double click on the view, it will take you to that view. I've already got that view open, but that functionality will work. And likewise, if you select on an element here, double click, it will take you to that particular tag, and again, you clicking on the checkbox will select it. So the same functionality really as within Explorer. So let's just switch back to the active view for a second. And here you go. Here, so I'm now just looking particularly at the active view, and I'm going to change this back to category. So now I can see I've got my active view here, and here's a list of all the annotation elements showing within this view. So it's dimensions, tags, lines, detail items, etc. So the eagle-eyed among you will have spotted that some of these are shown in italics. It's quite subtle, I admit, but what this italics is telling me is that some of these elements are hidden within this particular view. So of these door tags, some of these door tags have been hidden within the view. And opening out the tree, I can see, well, actually, I think it looks like every single one of those has been hidden. So that's something we need to look at. So again, you can select on the element. So we've built into Ideate Annotate, we've built in a direct link to our Ideate X-ray tool. So this can help you quickly resolve these kind of visibility issues. So if I select this tag here, again, you've got the ID panel here, which again is very similar to shown in Explorer. Because I've selected this tag within the Annotate tool, it's already selected in my X-ray. I can click on Find the element. It's going through all those visibility issues that we know about, and here's the result. It's telling me here, well, this is a fairly straightforward example, but it's hidden by category. So that door tag, the element is part of the door tag category, which is turned off within visibility graphics. So that's an easy one to resolve. I could click fix, and this would open up the visibility graphics dialog, which I won't do that. I'll just do the fix only, and that will turn on that category. So now all those tags have been turned on. You could have the show me option just to show you the particular issues that would open that visibility graphic dialog, or more info, which can link to a help page. So once you're so from the browse tab, I could, if I was looking to change, I don't know, room tags, I needed to change all my room tags from one particular type to another, just go to the name. Then it's quick, it's very easy to do. Similar functionality to what you have within Ideate Explorer. So that's the browse tab. I'm just going to change to a different view, and now I'm going to look specifically at the review tab. So this is slightly different. We are now looking specifically at issues with this particular drawing. And again, you've got the filtering is the same as previously. You can review the active view, the place views and sheets. So this is quite useful. If you just wanted to review your sheets and the views placed on the sheets, you could select that option. I don't think I would ever want to look at every single review issue within the entire project. Some of them I'm not interested in, but certainly I'm interested in the views which are going on my sheets, and my sheets are what are being published and sent out to clients, etc. So that's the sort of things I want to be reviewing. Or you can just click on the active view. So for the active view, see we're not just picking up the clashes. So you can see the annotation clashes is where we have things overlapping. I'm also finding zero length dimensions or blank tags and other reasons why the elements have been hidden. So let's take a look at the first one. So a zero length dimension, again, is select in the tree here. It's highlighted in my model. I can double click to it. Well, that's that whole length of that string. So somewhere here there's a zero length dimension, and I can see it there. So these zero length dimensions can come in where you're dimensioning an element, and if you're moving it around, especially when you're using the alignment tool and you align it to something else, those dimensions can change and you can end up with these zero length dimensions. So you want to get them out of the model. So I'd have to manually, in this case, I would have to manually adjust this dimension string. So the annotation clashes. This is one of the key things that we've highlighted, and it's also picking up other things. So yes, I've got window tags and wall tags overlapping, which we'll look at in a second, but I've also got elevation marks overlapping. So when you duplicate an elevation, people seem to forget that the actual elevation mark gets duplicated as well. So you can end up with lots of these things still hanging around in the model. So there's lots of those things being picked up. So we've got a window tag and a text note. So double clicking on either of those will take you straight to that issue. So here I've got the text and my tag, my text overlapping. So in this example, I can just move this one. If I move that out of the way, refresh the review panel, and that particular clash will have disappeared. Let's look at another example. So this example here, I have two tags which are overlapping and are clashing there. So that may be something you're interested in. You may think that's actually fine. I'm not interested in that. I'm happy to leave that as it is. So in this example, you've got a number of issues. You can dismiss it, which means you're happy with that clash. I click on the dismiss option. That will now disappear out of your active list. Again, just refresh that. That's gone now, but it's still there. It's still in your filter. You've still got these dismissed issues here, which you can. That's still part of your issues. Another way to review these would be you can change the sensitivity of this clash of this boxes here, or how these things are clashing, and that's done under the cog here under the settings. And if you change the sensitivity of these, you are showing more or less results. So if I change that and then refresh this, okay, I've just dismissed this, haven't I? Let me just go back and clear all dismissed issues first. So that's going to clear that one out of that pile. So that one's gone. I've refreshed it. However, that is no longer being considered a clash because I've changed the sensitivity. So I don't have any dismissed issues. This is still a live clash, but because I changed the settings here to become more sensitive, I got fewer results. So that particular clash was ignored. But if I change the setting again and refresh that, then that setting's that window, that clash is back in again. So this is something you can change on your sort of personal setting or personal basis. You can review those settings, whether you want to review more clashes or not. We also are picking up blank tags in the model. So this has got a blank. There's no parameter associated with this particular wall, so that's something else you might want to look at with finding those blank tags. Elevation marks with no elevation, so that's these things here. So where we've created all those elevations, we've deleted those views, those elevation views, but those tags, those elevation marks are still contained within the model. But that's an easy one. I can just delete all of those. I can select the whole tag clash there. I can click on delete, and that will delete all of those out of the model. So that's cleaned that particular issue up. And then you've got a couple more visibility issue ones. So it's another one here, hidden by element. So again, I can come back and use my X-ray to find this. I've selected it in my browser. Here is the review. So again, it's been hidden by element, and it's also outside the annotation crop. So I've got two things there that I can review, fix either of those issues, and bring that back in, and resolve that particular issue. And then finally, got these other ones here, other not visible. Well, what does that mean? Well, here I could use my X-ray again, but I could also just double click on the window tag. And here it's telling me the element is cropped in this view. Would you like to turn off the annotation crop of the view? Well, I'm going to say yes in this example. So this view had an annotation crop applied. I've now turned that off. Now you can see that this tag is outside of that crop here, so I could move that one back in. I'm also seeing I've got another issue here which is unrelated, but I think this is also a room tag that's outside the crop, so I can bring this one back in as well. I've now got two tags, so you can see how these issues can be resolved quickly. So quick refresh, and I'm slowly resolving these issues as we go along. And one final thing, if you're looking to export these issues out, we can export these out to a CSV or an Excel file. So if you want to review these in Excel, or you're looking for dashboarding information, we can export this data out of the model as well. So that is the Ideate Annotate tool. So I just wanted to give you another quick refresh on the X-ray. Well, we've been talking about the X-ray tool. It's worth going over a couple more similar workflows. So in the previous examples, I was selecting the actual object to try and find it. Well, what happens if you can't see the object in the first place? How can you select it and try and find it? Well, in this example, again using the X-ray, I'm looking for a 3D model element. So where is the table? So I'm looking for a 3D model element. This may be familiar to some of you. This may not be. This may be new to some of you. So I'm going to select a crossing area. It's in here somewhere, and I'm looking for a table. So the table would be under the furniture. Here's a list of all the categories it's found within that particular volume of space. I'm looking for my coffee table. That's the one I want to try and find. I've selected it. Now I can use the X-ray to try and find that particular element. And we've got a couple of issues here. So we've got a work set's hidden. Okay, show me what's wrong with this one. Click on my tab. So as you can see, the work set's been hidden. It's actually on the wrong work set, so that's another issue we found. But for now, I'm just going to turn that on. And then it's also hidden by element. So this one I can just click on the fix the element. And now I can see the X-ray has helped me resolve that issue, which might have taken me 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, an hour, or even longer to try and find that out. So that's a really useful time saver on those particular issues. And then a related issue to X-ray. This is around kind of your datum elements. So it might be a level or a grid line that's disappeared out of your view. This happens fairly regularly. So here I'm looking for where is grid line C4. It's nowhere to be found in the model. So for this example, I'm not looking for a 3D model element, but I'm looking for a grid, level, or view reference. So in this example, I can pick from a list. So here's a list of levels, grids, and views. I can just type in C4, and then there we are. That's the one I'm looking for. Next, it's selected, and now I can use the X-ray tool to try and find this particular grid. And we can see where this one has gone. So this one is not visible because the 3D grid line does not intersect with the cut plane of this target view. Okay, I think I know what that is telling me. If I open up the section view here, well, you can see there's the problem. There's the problem. That grid line has somehow been dragged down below the level line, so it's not being intersected. So therefore, it won't become visible. This happens regularly, particularly because these datum elements have 2D and 3D options to them. So if I can unpin that one, I can then just drag this back to where it should be, along with the rest of them. And now my grid is then showing up again. So there's another couple of quick uses of Ideate X-Ray. And then finally, so there was an update to Quick Select, and also within Ideate Explorer. So we're now enabling you to search directly on text within tags. So if you're looking for a particular piece of data within a tag, we can try and find that for you. So as an example, I'm just going to type in 1001. I know that's somewhere in, I think it's in a window or a door tag, I'm not quite sure. I can search on those elements. So it's in a door, I think it was the windows one I was looking for particularly. And again, double click will take me straight to, there we are. So that's the 101. I was looking for that particular field. So I can search on that within the Quick Select tool. And then this one is another one. I'm looking for a room tag, for example, and again, so that's something else I'm looking for. And then again, it's a quick double click, and I can find those tags. So that's a nice little further addition to help you find your objects, either using the Quick Select tool or either using the Ideate Explorer tool as well. So that is the demonstration. Any questions? Okay, so we've got
Steve, I was just about to read out one from Leonardo, who have said, question about room tags. How does Ideate Annotate handle room tags out of room and orphaned room tags? Also, will it still read information from the tag if it's tagging a linked model which is unloaded?
That is a very, very good question. We will find, so to answer part of that, the orphan tags, we will find orphan tags. They will be found via Ideate Annotate. Tags that are out of the room, that will show, I think, as other not visible, I think, or another function. Let me get back offline on that one to you, Leonardo. I can answer that more fully on an email, I think. Thank you for that. Will I get a link to the recording? Yes, the links to the recording will probably be sent tomorrow, I think, or either on Thursday. Thanks for the questions. It's short and sweet webinars. That's what we would like to keep them short and sweet. So helpful information. If you have any questions, you can reach out either to myself or Nick, or you can email our support team. The website has some great videos and classes. There's a really good short video around Ideate Annotate, which will just recap some of the things that I've talked about earlier on today. As I say, reach out to us with any questions or queries. If you want to get a copy of Ideate Annotate, you will need to download the latest version of the Ideate software. So it's either via the bundle or the individual installation. So yeah, make sure you do that. And if there's no more questions, we're right on the half hour. So thank you very much for joining me. Thank you for taking time out of your days. And we will say thank you very much. Goodbye.
Bye. Thank you very much indeed.